My wife is the video queen. Video me while I'm sleeping, when I'm awake,
Wait, this
when I'm
is not
good, when I'm
supposed to
bad.
be. It's not supposed to
Now
be
I'm
that
doing
kind
a
of video.
physical, and she wants to video the machine.
We are headed out now to our cruise.
I'm trying to please my wife to see the big old bag that I'm taking. I ain't never took so much clothes. So anyways.
We are in Ibiza on this little side street.
I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. And now the Lord is coming into our house. And make sure you tune into our worship at 11 o'clock every Sunday. My prayer is that the government, the country, and the world will be so mindful. And Sister Daphne, you just did the work again. And you know, you just did work, girl. You better go on.
We are in Rome.
And for me, I was just kidnapped. I had to wake up on my vacation at 7:30 in the daggone morning.
A lot of temptation. But I'm here to remind my wife, yield not to temptation, for temptation is bankruptcy.
With that, I say I'll see y'all later. I have nothing more to say.
I am blessed. I am blessed. Every day of my life I am blessed. When I wake up in the morning and I lay my head to rest. Every day of my life I am blessed. Give me no, Mr.
Hi. So, welcome to the Winner Circle Live. And today, the tables have turned, right? So, for the first time, Daphne is stepping out of the host seat and into the guest seats alongside her husband, Max. Daphne is a former Fortune 50 CIO and SVP, board director, angel investor, and author of Win When They Say You Won't, and the CEO and founder of the Board Curators. Max is an overseer of 3 churches in the apostolic denominations and is also an angel investor, former deputy mayor of Jersey City, political advisor, influencer, and community organizer. His work centers around his faith, his family, his community, and God's purpose. They are parents of 4 offspring, 2 grandchildren, and together they've built a marriage that spans boardrooms, churches, owning houses and land across the US and other countries, traveling across the world, and living in a purpose-driven life between Syracuse and Miami. Today, we are talking about love, leadership, faith, travel, and what really takes to build a life together. So, help me to welcome Daphne and Max Jones.
Hey,
Hi. We have the pleasure of seeing you both side by side. That video, I could watch that video 1,000 times.
Yeah, I found that to be very interesting.
Max, you are I think whenever you retire, I think comedian is probably next up for you.
Oh my goodness, on Sunday, I had to be coming to a stand-up comedy show.
That's right. So
But it gets the point across.
that's right. Well, we welcome everyone to the Winner Circle Live. Feel free to drop your questions as we're going through. I have an amazing set of interview questions for the 2 of them, but feel free to drop your questions. And then we're going to just jump right on into it. Are y'all okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. So, Daphne, how does it feel to be in the guest seat today instead of the hot seat, the interviewer?
right. It's a little nerve-wracking. Number one, it's humbling because I would never thought that people would want to know more about me or us. So it's a little humbling. I didn't know what to expect. He and I have not talked about the questions, or I don't know what he's going to say. He don't know what I'm going to say. So it's gonna be a little scary. I have control issues.
I know.
You have control issues. And so that's that. And then I think about, I think this is an example of me doing what I ask other people to do. You never want to be the person that tells other people to do something and you don't do it yourself. So I think it puts me in a position of being a role model to say, you know, if you can be on a podcast, then I guess Daphne can too.
Of
All of being transparent. Is that what you're saying?
Being transparent.
Okay,
Yes.
and put yourself out so that if there's anything, any mistakes that I make, or you're not going to make any mistakes, but if you
about-
reveal something that we want to take back, this is live, so we can't take it back.
That's right. That's
vulnerable. I'm
Yeah.
vulnerable right now.
I can tell.
And I don't like being vulnerable.
I know. But
I
don't-
love that. So you guys are what I consider, we've said it, partners in purpose. So what does that actually look like in real life?
Well, when I think about my actual purpose, you know, before I married him or while I was marrying him and all that, it was for me to teach wisdom to the world. I've gone through so many different challenges, and there are people who look like me or don't look like me. I want them to know that they can also win. And I want to teach them wisdom so they can learn how to win. And so that sort of extends in a way to what he also does. And I'll let him speak for himself.
Yeah, please.
Oh, you want to speak for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So for my purpose is to teach and to help and be able to pull people along, pull people forward so they are at a better place than they started. And my legacy will be, you know, on my tombstone, there lies Daphne. She made me better. So that's my purpose.
And for me, it's a lot simpler than that. When I was growing up, there are two things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a professional basketball player, so I was probably good, and I also want to be a minister. I want to help my dad. I didn't even know how it would turn out. I don't know whether I'd make money or not, but I just wanted to help my dad. And so my purpose in life is really to carry out my father's vision, and his vision was connected to the vision of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so that if the folks are homeless or folks are poor, if people are hungry, if people are in prison, just to make sure that we're there for them and to help them to make their lives better. And so that has been my purpose. I guess there's some teaching that has to take place, but there's a lot of support, counseling, etc. So
you're helping people with transformation from where they were to where they could be, and you help transform their mind because half of it starts in your mind. If you don't think you can, you won't. If you know you can, you will. Right. And so you help people transform.
Okay, and that's what my dad did.
I love that. Yeah, and I think both of you have that where you're waterers, right? You both are pouring into people all the time, right? And I was at something this weekend, and they're like, but sometimes we need to be watered too. The constant waterers need watering. So, but I think you guys both in your different career paths. Daphne, you're pouring into women that want to go to the next level, and Max, you're pouring into just people who are trying to change my mindset, and I need to go higher. And so I think that, in my mind, that's your common denominator purpose. So.
Is that what Jesus was, like the wounded healer? Is that
yeah, but not wounded. I mean that, Rashawn, I think that is just so putting it all together is, and I was thinking about the scripture that says that some plant and water, but God brings the increase. And when I think about our relationship, Daphne is a planter. She's constantly trying to plant new information on me. In fact, some Saturday night, she said, "Oh, you got a word from the Lord?" And I'll say, "No." And she said, "Why don't you preach this? Why don't you preach that?" She comes with these great ideas. I point my finger to her and said, "Daphne, that's for you to preach."
Yes.
Definitely a planter, and I'm a waterer. I think over my life and with counseling in high school, where I used to counsel, coaching basketball, and now coaching people in life at the church, I think I'm a waterer.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, we have to take that into consideration.
Let's preach about that next time.
That's right.
Oh no, you go preach. Oh no, let's preach.
Well, you guys have been married for 28 years, and that is beautiful.
29, June 14th.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So and we're going beyond that. We're almost three decades is very impressive. Okay. But this isn't the first marriage for either one of you. So what did finding love the second time around teach you?
Well, I tell you what, the second time is better than the first. The first time, I wasn't sure who I was, journey that I was going to take. and there were some things that I started to do when I was a youngster, like wanted to be a minister.
Mhm.
And my first wife, I don't think she bought into that, or I didn't sell her in that. So I made a real drastic change and quit my job and went to seminary and didn't really have a plan because I'm not really a good planner even now, right? Would you say that? I'm not a good planner.
Daphne's got that part.
I'm a visionary.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and so the first
100%.
time I didn't plan, but we had children, boom, 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 wonderful kids, 3 kids on my side, and that was a gift of our first marriage. But the second time I was divorced maybe about 7 or 8 years, and then decided, you know what, as a pastor, I need to have a wife. Quite frankly, I went to the Lord and I prayed and I said, Lord, can you make me like Paul? And people who know the Bible know what Paul's all about, where he gave up marriage and gave up that life so that he could spend time with the Lord. But I didn't have a Pauline calling, so I had to find a wife. I prayed for Daphne.
I love that.
I prayed. And then I thank God that after I prayed and things worked out so that, she and I saw each other. I didn't see her for 2 weeks. I forgot what she looked like. Then I said, Lord, I got to be attracted to her. I mean, I don't want to be somebody I'm not crazy over, right? So we'll tell you what happened when we met the first time. The second time when we
Second
met.
time.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to meet at Short Hills Mall, for those of you all that are from Jersey.
Yeah.
And we were going to meet right outside this restaurant called Paparazzi. And I think it's right outside of Bloomingdale's, I think. So my mother always told me, never wait for a man should wait for you.
That's right.
We're on time. I got there at noon. I guess might have been our date time. I walk in at noon with my tight jeans on and my little waist bomber jacket, just knew that I was the stuff.
Uh-huh.
Walked in and I didn't see him, or a man that I thought would be him, because I may have forgotten what you look like too, but I didn't see anybody waiting for anybody.
But you knew I was fine.
I knew you were fine. You were dark and handsome. So I walked. I said, well, my mother told me I'm not waiting for this guy for him to, for me to be early and him to be late. So I ran into Bloomingdale's and I pretended to be shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Shopping around 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes go by, and then I kind of come out and I'm like, oh, then I see him standing by a pillar. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm late. I'm so sorry that I'm late. And he said, no, that's okay. That's okay. I'm sorry that I was late too. Come to realize, fast forward to when we got married, which was like 3 months later,
right.
4 months later,
Really?
He admitted to me that he saw me walk in the door and he hid because he didn't want to, he wanted to make sure he liked me.
I want to make sure that
he was attracted to me. So he all along on time while I'm running into Bloomingdale. He see me running to Bloomingdale's, sees me running out like I was late. He knew I wasn't late. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. So you were making sure that God answered your very specific prayer.
That's right.
That's right. You were just making sure.
But this is my second marriage too, and I think love is possible. I think you can make a mistake. Just understand what matters to you. Some people get married with infatuation, and that kind of wanes over time. But if there's a friendship and if there's love, and you understand what you need in yourself, and you have in yourself, and what you need and want in someone else, then that second time around it's possible. I think the first mistake makes you wiser, makes you smarter. That's why they have erasers on the top of pencils, because you can make that mistake and erase that first experience and don't let it define the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I would get out of the second marriage. It's
come back with some experience.
Well, the other thing too about love, sometimes I, being a romantic, think that love can conquer all. Mm-hmm. But there's some practical things that has to happen. Women like security, mm-hmm. and men like to be respected. You like to be respected, or you like security? I mean, she's so managed. That's another story I got to tell you about LaShawn, but
he's more feminine than me.
In any case, yeah, especially when we talk about when we live in different cities, and you come home and you want to take over my system and all that. But in any case, but I think that there has to be some practical things, and one of the things that I made sure that I asked the Lord when I asked for Daphne was to give me someone who understand or understood what it was like to be a Caribbean American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamaican, because Jamaican men are a little different. You know, we weren't raised like American men. We were raised to be stubborn and be the head of the home and strong man. Especially Joneses. Joneses are strong. I mean, great personality and in some cases selfish.
Mm-hmm.
So what I said to Daphne when I met her and we talked about getting married is that if she allows me and gives in to me, she will always watch the movie I want to watch. She'll always watch sports and not her shows, whatever shows she wants. She'll always go to the restaurant that I want to go to. So that was, I think the second time when you get married, you can negotiate those things.
That's right.
Negotiate. And then
There's terms and conditions now.
We had conflict.
Still, we had conflict.
Absolutely.
Because she's strong and I'm strong.
Yeah.
The thing that I will say is there's wisdom and there's intellect. And so finding that balance of with your partner where your weakness is their strength and their weakness is your strength. So
Yes.
I'm smarter than him, but he is more wise than me. He has great wisdom. And they say that being smart is when you know that tomato is a fruit. Being wise is when you know not to put a tomato in a fruit salad.
I know how to use it.
So you know how to use it. So you got to make sure you have that balance of what you all both need so you fit like that.
Yes.
Wisdom, we got to do what? Ask of God. Lord, give her
me
wisdom.
understanding.
We have a question in the chat. How do you bring your best selves to each other every day?
Well, one thing that Max and the Word teaches us is to prefer each other. So when I think about, well, my husband just did a funeral yesterday, and I said, well, what is he going to want to eat? And I asked him before he left, and he said chicken. And so we took out the chicken out of the freezer. I baked it. It was delicious, wasn't it?
It was excellent. Yeah,
so,
we'll have some more today.
So I realized, like, what does he need? I prefer him in the moment of his greatest need. What can I do to help him? And then that makes him like love me and appreciate me even more. And the same is true. Whenever I'm suffering from anything, he calls me the bird with the broken wing. Whenever my wing breaks, he is right there with me. And so to me, being the best is when I can give him my best when whatever he wants. And knowing each other's love language. We are staunch proponents of love languages. I don't know if you all know that book, but his love language is quality time. And mine is acts of service. So if you say you're going to do something, do it. So he knows that he can't just commit to something and not do it, because the act of service thing will then be null and void. And he wants to know that I'm around him and I'm spending time with him. So that is an example of bringing my bells.
Just give moral support.
Yeah.
That question, I don't know who asked it, but let me just share this with you. That sounds like a lot of hard work. Concern about bringing your best self into the marriage every day. One of the things that I think is that if you make the decision to marry and you pray about it, then there has to be some things that are just normal and natural that you bring to the table that is of a level that is satisfactory to each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're not trying and working super hard. Now,
Who you are.
It's hard to please me. I try to please her by just being myself. And I ask her to accept me for who I am. So there's sometimes I can't present, and a lot of times I can't present, quote unquote, my best self. But when I present who I am, hopefully that's enough to keep her satisfied and to keep the marriage strong. Let me just make one other statement. One of the things, though, that I think that I'm at my best, and I share this with her all the time. When Daphne's wing is broken or when she's hurt, I go into that love that I have for her, and that's when she also allows me to take care of her.
That's right.
I can do it myself. I can solve my own problems, but when she is vulnerable and when she's hurt and sick, then that's when I can be her hero and perform and live up to the vow that I made
Yeah.
to
You
her.
swooping.
And
Yeah,
let
I
me
swoop
try
in. I like that. I
another
swoop in.
perspective. You do swoop
I
in,
swoop in.
right? He
Okay.
wants to be my hero. And ladies, a lot of men,
Allow
that's all they want.
Let us
That's
be
all
your
they
hero,
want,
please.
to be a hero. And don't beat them down. Don't tell them, oh, my hero would have done something much better than this. No,
Yeah.
do their best and encourage them. What?
Or don't do this. So I bought her a car for her birthday,
Oh.
and it was a 911 Porsche. I delivered the car. She looks at me, says, "Oh, I'm so grateful, but that is my second best car." Her dream car was a Bentley. I was so undone. I wanted to take the car back.
She was just kidding. Maybe that's the 30 year. You coming up on 29. That's the 30-year anniversary present. That was just
No.
I like that.
I was trying to retire, so we're trying, I'm trying to retire.
I'm trying to keep you at work.
But I
Well,
do this,
Mhm.
this. I just want to say this about the best self. So when you're dating, I gave you my best. I was cute all the time. I cooked all the time.
Cute all the time. You don't
Right.
cook all
So
the time
whatever
now,
it
though,
takes
but
to get him, or
it
whatever
takes-
it takes to get her, it takes to keep her.
Right.
So the best self is what they were used to. On the best day, I showed up on time. On the best day, I was faithful. On the best day, I looked good. On the best day, I rubbed his head. And so that's what I
That's
think they
true.
mean by your best self. So then don't get into the marriage 3 years later and all of a sudden you used to cook and you were bragging about what a great cook you are. All of a sudden you don't cook unless you've been sent to the army or overseas or unless you all talk about it and communicate. Communication is so important that I'm changing a little bit. I'm moving from learning all I can to earning all I can, or I'm going to retire so I can return all I can. You got to have that conversation. But if you don't, then there's going to be a problem. Every time that you disavow that contract that you signed up for when you got married, it's an ounce of pressure. And after so many ounces of pressure, it builds up and something is going to collapse.
Hey, Professor
You got to
Daphne.
know what it took
So
to get
what
her.
about me? What about when I
Yeah.
on a daily basis? I mean, be honest now.
He says live, you gotta be honest.
Yeah,
Give me some feedback.
you're giving me what you believe I need, and
Who works harder?
giving,
do you work harder at it, or do I work harder?
I
Presenting this.
I think I work harder.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay, let's talk.
Why?
Who wants to work hard?
We've been
I
married
wanna
for
work
29
smart. I wanna
years.
work smarter.
Right.
It's
This is easy. But I think you guys answered my next question of, how you have balanced the two different, callings while still building together. It's because you all are pouring into each other. You're meeting his needs. He's meeting your needs when you allow it, Daphne.
Yes.
But I think that you are tuned into each other enough to know this is what it takes for Max to be, him, and maybe I have to accept this, and this is what it takes for Daphne, and maybe it's a Bentley on her 30th anniversary, So we'll keep plugging that in. I'm a girl's girl, so we're gonna make sure. Yeah, and then when I come to Miami, Daphne, just take me for a ride.
Right.
But people often see the highlights, but we know every real marriage, every real relationship goes through hard seasons. So how have you all dealt with tragedy and the moments where things weren't so rosy?
Well, one of the things is that I said to Daphne one day, I said, after about 5 years, I said to Daphne, I didn't know marriage could be so good. And then the next year was total hell. I mean, I don't know whether the enemy heard, the devil heard, or whatever, or we took each other for granted after that. But later on, Daphne said, I almost divorced you after that. So how do we work through it? A part of what I think happened in terms of the way we lived, and Daphne, before we bought the home in Miami and made our Florida residence, I think that her traveling helped us so that we weren't always in each other's face at all times. And when things were really tense, we weren't always there and felt the tension. And so we had to, I was raising Daphne's son, who was my stepson, who was my son that I raised. I've been in his life since he was 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
We had to focus on the practical things of my making sure that he, got to school, making sure he ate every day, making sure that he was doing well, and while taking care of my career. And so we weren't always in each other's face, which would have created a lot of tension and perhaps would have led us to being divorced.
I agree, and I believe that the specific situation that came up most recently was that I had breast cancer
Mm.
5 years ago, and we talk, we're rosy and sweet and cute and everything, but life isn't always that way. Life be lifing, and
Yeah.
so when life was lifing with me, and I got diagnosed, after I fainted, after finding out the news, he was there with me. I went to Milwaukee. I had to have 3 surgeries two within 2 weeks of each other. And the third one was like a month or two later. And it was for stage 0. So just for everybody to know, it was a very, very, very early catch, very early, stage 0. In fact, they even laughed at me and said, Daphne, you didn't have
You don't
cancer.
really have cancer.
Cancer starts at stage 1. But anyway, they took it out and all that. But it was, you're given the big C verdict,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that you have just kind of tumbles down. And so Max provided that foundation that while I was crumbling, he would say, be anxious for nothing, but in all things through prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, make your request be known unto God. I mean, on and on and on. It was always, what I needed the most was faith, hope, the word. Cindy Trim, Dr. Cindy Trim, 30 minutes every night. She has the healing prayer. For those of you all that are going through, Dr. Cindy Trim on YouTube, 30 minutes. Be prepared, 30 minutes. Go to sleep with her in your spirit. You get revived, you get renewed. But having a mate who said, for better or for worse, this is not necessarily the worst, but it was, pretty bad. In my opinion. Dropped everything.
Make sure you're okay.
I was writing my book, and I had to say, am I going to finish writing this book? And I'm like, yeah, it's not only for me to heal other people, to be healed, but it's for other people to be healed as well. So when times are tough, just remember the good times. And that's why you're here, is to help your spouse be that foundation that they might need as they crumble, whether it's their job, whether it's their physical life, whether it's their financial situation, the 5 F's, your faith, your family, your finance, your fitness, and your furthering your career. Any one of those could tumble at any point in time. And you need to be that person who is going to be that foundation for that person when their finances crumble, or their faith crumbles, or their fitness crumbles, or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's great. I posted something to my page the other day, and I said it was amazing to me how many faith-filled people are so full of fear. And I got a lot of feedback from that, because they're like, it's something that's more common than what you would think, is what people are saying. More common than you would think. So I know that when you get a diagnosis like that, maybe your thought is you questioning God, like, right? Like, why, why would this? And I think it's so important that you had Max to say, for maybe he redirected those thoughts. Not why is this happening to me, but why is it happening for me? I think you going through that, this is just because I came around after, your experience, but I think that gives you, and outside looking in, it gave you just a little bit more spark. Once you got through it, it's like, if I could get through that, right? And just some of your experiences that you've shared of, being laid off, going through a divorce at the same time, I think it was happening to you. You were given that assignment so you can be where you are now, because you are encouraging women. You just did an amazing summit with 100 Black women. And I think that those purpose, the reason why you kind of went through those things is so you can now usher other women through that, like me, like, I don't know what's upcoming for me, but I'm like, man, if Daphne could get through breast cancer, if Daphne can get through divorce and losing a job, if Daphne, I think that is what your purpose and your assignment was. And so I'm excited, for that.
me just add, the thing about it is that a lot of churches and pastors and teachers are afraid to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the fact that there was fear,
Mm-hmm.
and I was also afraid. And but there's scripture that says, "Lord, I believe,
And now help my unbelief.
now help my unbelief." That's the first thing that I want to share. So it's okay to be afraid because we all are human. You are saved. You're divine as well. And so we have our godlike self, but we also have our human-like self.
Yes.
And pastors, I believe, and I practice that, and with Daphne, that we have to be transparent. So if you hear some of my sermons, I talk so much about our personal situation. So I asked Daphne, I said, Daph, I'll say to her while I'm preaching, Daph, can I say so and so? Well, of course you don't know what I'm going to say.
You say yes.
But I kind of prepare her that to be transparent. And yes, we were afraid and we did pray. And then we made sure that we also have folks that we can go to. Daphne has two pastors in addition to me. And thank God the Bible gives permission to that. It will give you many pastors after mine own heart. So I'm not her only pastor. And when I give her a hard time, she has somebody she can run to. But during that process, she had other people in addition to me. And I had someone, Dr. Lynn Mims, who was a professor of mine in seminary at Southern Methodist University, that I could go and lean on. So it is okay for folks who are power couples or folks who are in the boardroom of 500, what is it, Fortune 500 or Fortune 50 companies. It is okay for you to lean on somebody else and be transparent. That's how we can help. We have not because we ask not. And if you need help, you need to ask for help.
That's right. We have a question in the chat. And it says, everyone grows intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally at different rates and times. How do you manage the different rates of growth over the past years between yourself?
How you manage it, you let it happen. And then one thing that was difficult for me is that the congregation that I pastor, it's a smaller congregation in one of the cities that are one of the poorest cities in the United States of America. And the educational system is not the best, and so on. And then we have volunteers, people who volunteer to work at our church. Um, and now bringing in Daphne over the years to do administration, as she has grown, her growth really has been how to apply her experience in corporate America and her education as an MBA. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
who's had 20, tons of years of experience, and but
Almost
working
40
with
years.
people who are PhDs and people who have MBAs and so on. How do you then work with persons that we're ministering to? And you've made just a
Yeah.
tremendous level of growth. And so, but we didn't give up.
Yeah,
trying.
it was hard. It was scary. I mean, I called myself a PWIT, preacher's wife in training, or pastor's wife in training. I didn't know, and I didn't have these experiences. When you look at the context of the community around us, there were people who had been in jail. Well, I'd never been to jail. There are
Mhm.
people who were strung out on drugs or whose family had been strung out. There were people who had lost their children to gunshot and gang violence. How am I going to connect with these women
Mhm.
that have these experiences and I don't? And so I kind of made the excuse years ago that I have the marketplace ministries,
Yeah.
because somebody told me that I was going to minister to the rich and the wealthy and the educated. But here I didn't know like what God had for me. So now we are ministering to those that are the least of these,
Yeah.
right? That are hungry, so we have a food pantry now. The
Mhm.
people that don't have clothes, we give clothes away. But it was really finding that common part in your heart, that you have a heart, I have a heart, we all have a heart, and it doesn't matter what I've done, but what matters is how I love. And
Mhm.
know that I can look at you as a human being and love you no matter what you've been through versus what I've gone through, then it can work. And so I'm hopefully we're answering this question about rate of growth, because sometimes the rate of growth also is based on your experiences and what you have access to. And so I have access to things that Max doesn't have access to, but he also has access to things that I don't have access to. And so as long as we communicate and we are friends and we show love
and support each other in that
support,
growth, and,
right.
and not try to hold each other back,
Right.
Mhm.
but be patient with each other. And how do we do it? It's like, and accept each other,
Mhm.
right? So you can grow apart and be comfortable in yourself and not be insecure. Oh, she's growing away from me and she's doing this, she's
Right.
doing that.
Right.
But hold on to your purpose and know that your purpose, it can be joint, but primarily your purpose is your purpose. Your
Yeah.
drive is your drive. You've got to fulfill what God has given you to fulfill, regardless of the other person, whether they are there every day or supporting you every day. And so you kind of try to stay out of the way, but also when you're needed to coach and to cheerlead and to support,
You're right there.
then you're right there as well.
But you got to have common values, like what is important, about our money and our investments.
Mhm.
What is important about how we are intimate? What's important about our love? What's important about
Our
healthcare?
relationship with our children.
Relationship with our children, because he's got 3 from his first marriage. I have 1. We had to discuss how is that going to happen, because you don't want to just walk into it. You want to try to anticipate,
Mhm.
who's going to pay for this, or how are we going to support this and these people. So it's having a core set of values. It requires communication. It
Mhm.
doesn't happen. My first marriage, Max's brother Noel always says that you can be a public success but a private failure. So you're doing your job every day, but your family life is all jacked up. And so
Mhm.
family life was all jacked up when I was with my first husband. I didn't know that I had to nurture him. I didn't know I had to nurture the relationship. I didn't know we had to have common values. So when the values came up and they were different, it created those pressure points and those pounds and ounces of pressure that ended up in the relationship falling apart. Plus, he wasn't Jamaican.
Right.
And,
And
Like
also,
I am.
Rashawn, expectations set us up to fail,
Yes.
right? So I'm a middle child. I took care of the younger ones in my home. Mom taught me how to cook, clean, do laundry, and so on. So when Daphne is doing her thing about growing and going to various workshops and traveling, it's nothing for me to take care of the home. And I'm to that because I have my own system in the kitchen.
That's right.
I'm still the woman of the house.
That's exactly what she said when she comes home, but she doesn't know that I've taken that role of I'm the woman of the house in Syracuse, New York. She can be the woman of the house in mine. Because she would come home and move my stuff. So I'm looking for my pots and pan, my favorite pots and pan. I can't find them. Then she throw out my stuff.
We're not hoarders. We're too old to be hoarders.
And so going back into, answering the question about growth, you just have to be secure in yourself. And I think the thing about the two of us is that we're crazy about each other. And so we always come back to that.
Yes, we
no matter what. Even though I apologize way before you do.
Yeah, because you come from me and I didn't send for you. So you have to apologize because you're the troublemaker. You're the protester. You're always protesting something. And
No,
so
that is true.
Yeah, so you have
Is that the Jamaican in you?
Huh?
Is that the Jamaican in him?
Jamaican in me. But she's Jamaican too, okay. And she got chips on her shoulders too.
She got it. When did it hit you that you were the first lady though? Like when did that hit you?
When I realized that I married the man, but I also married the profession.
Start out with what I told you though, when we negotiated, when
What?
you and I met, and I said to you, Daphne, I want you to take care of me and Jared.
That's it. That's what he wanted. He wanted.
That's it.
He said,
I wasn't married no first
I want
lady.
you to sit there on the front row and just look pretty.
That's
and
right.
I just want you to take care of me and take care of my son.
Why?
But then
because I'm third generation in ministry. All so-called quote unquote first ladies almost wrecked the church. And they don't have that at Apostolic Church of Jesus.
And the Bible doesn't use the term first lady. So he has a problem. So they call me Lady Daphne, but some of them call me first lady because it's a
traditional,
generational
especially in
tradition.
the black church.
But there is no first lady in the Bible. I'm not one of the fivefold, not a sixfold ministry. It is just something that man has given. But I realized that my husband has two wives. He has me and he has the church. If somebody calls him at 2 a.m. because their son is in a car accident or whatever,
go.
he has to answer the phone call. And then my role now is to support that. It is either to, fix him a cup of coffee, pray with him, think good thoughts about what's going on at the hospital or in the funeral home. And so I do have to play that role of being the first wife and the pastor's wife. And so it hit me when we got the first 2 o'clock in the morning call. I'm like, you don't have to answer that call. Daphne, I have to. I'm a pastor. So
or when we used to go on vacation, because we travel a lot.
Right.
But you would always go on Saturday. I would come on Monday.
Yeah, after church.
Yeah, I would have to preach and make sure everything was taken care of in terms of my duty. Go ahead.
Oh, there's another one. When we got married, we got married and we were going on a honeymoon. And I was wearing these Daisy Dukes. I don't know what they were called.
Hot pants.
Okay, they were hot pants.
White hot pants.
Yeah, hot pants with some high heels on. You couldn't tell me nothing. We were going to Jamaica. I'm like, he said, Daphne, I came down the steps. He said, where you going with those? I said, I'm going to Jamaica on a honeymoon. He said, I'm a pastor. People know me. I said, Max, ain't nobody going to Jamaica with us right now. It's 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning.
And so
I said to her, wait, when we get to the airport, guarantee somebody's going to recognize me.
Sure enough, when we got to the airport.
No, that's getting ahead. What did you do?
I cried.
And did what?
And I
changed.
Of course, I changed.
She cried and she cried, but she changed.
And then we got to the airport, and sure enough, Reverend Jones, hey, Reverend Jones. And so then he just looks at me, our little private, private joke. Yeah. So that's when I realized that a preacher's wife.
Time it hit you as being a pastor's wife.
Yeah.
They're high. Expectations are high.
Well, I have one more question before we wrap up, but this one is what would you say is the most common misconception that people have about first ladies or ladies of the church, pastors' wives?
They that we are the associate minister, that we are the second minister. They get 2 for the price of 1. And I married him. Like I said, I married the man, but the profession came with it. I'm a minister because of it. But in a way, I guess I have. He's always asking me if I've accepted my calling. I'm going to accept your calling. So I must have a calling. But even though I say it's in the marketplace, it's also in the church. So I think the biggest misconception is that. I said maybe the second one is that
that we don't fight. That we don't have conflict.
That everything is perfect. And it's not, so, follow me as I follow Christ, right? That's usually what we try to say. We use ourselves as examples because people don't know what happens behind closed doors. And so we want them to know we fight, we cry,
and we make up.
We get sick, we fall down, but we get up. We argue, but we make up.
It's like kids that don't think their parents have sex.
Yeah, right.
We know, hey, I'm going away and I need to be with my wife. Hello. They're making more babies on them cruises, but we have a good time.
Right. And we don't get really paid. He doesn't get really paid by the church, so he's very independent. So there's that distinction. There's some pastors who get paid a lot of money, and I'm not sure that they're independent or dependent.
They're more dependent.
But we're not dependent on that. So Pastor Max can be himself. He can preach what he wants to preach, be how he wants to be, and we're not beholden to having to
worry about getting fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Daphne, this is something we haven't done before. We're going to try it today, and this is the rapid fire round. Okay. So I'm just going to ask you guys a series of questions, and you just point to whoever you think it is, if it's yourself or if it's Max. And so, y'all ready? Who said I love you first? Who is more romantic?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Both of you? Okay. Who spends more money?
Oh! Listen, she makes money and I try to save the money.
Who's the better driver?
Me.
I'm getting ready to take your license away from you. No.
Yeah, that's because I drive all the time when I'm driving with you because I don't like how you drive, so I drive even when I'm tired.
Max, you will run red lights. You will go through a light and then you'll back up, change your mind, and almost hit somebody behind. Whatever. You are horrible.
And you drive while you're texting and sending emails.
Well, I don't have.
And so the car's going like this on the highway.
I think I'm the better driver.
Oh, okay.
She won't do that in a Bentley, I promise.
No, no.
Oh, see.
We'll never know that.
Who plans date night?
Oh boy.
Yeah, both of us.
For mainly you, but recently I've been doing it more.
Yeah. By the way, every Friday night is date night, and every 14th of the month we
Is
celebrate
anniversary.
our anniversary. So we always try to beat each other at midnight, 12:01 a.m. I'll wake up and say happy anniversary, Max. But
You know what today is?
It's our anniversary. So that's the 14th of every month.
Yeah.
I love that.
How we keep it cute.
So
What's the next question?
Who's the morning person?
who's what?
A morning
A
person.
morning person.
Me.
Yeah.
And then, so who's the night owl? That would be Max.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who steals the covers?
Point time. Daphne works out. Let me go back. My son said to me, Dad, why are you in such bad shape? All you got to do is join Daphne and work out with her. She works out at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. That's my best time of sleeping. When I work out, it's like at 4 in the afternoon or 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So I'm a night owl. And,
Yes.
she rises up early.
That's true.
Yeah.
Early risers.
She stays ahead of me though.
That's
Listen, that's the madness when you wake up in the morning and you're still fasting from the night before. What can you do that will allow you to extend that fasting period a little bit longer before you get your stomach open for business?
Drink a cup of coffee.
Well, the coffee.
No.
Well, I put sugar, or I
I'm
mean, a
only
Splenda and
teasing you.
cream, so that makes my
I'm
stomach
only
wake up.
teasing you.
So that's what the workout does. The workout gives you a good hour and a half more in the morning of you being able to not eat.
yeah.
So that allows me to fast for longer.
I do that too. Last one, and who steals the covers? You steal the covers.
Wait, no.
Well,
because
for the
he's
first-
so big. He steals the whole bed.
3/4 of our marriage, you complain about me pulling the covers off you at night. But I've made the adjustment. So now, well, her adjustment is since I have the covers, she'll come over and corner me, and we have a king bed, but we only sleep in like 10% of it, and I'm always feeling like I can't turn around. I feel like I'm gonna fall off the bed. Tell the truth. Now.
That's true.
Even last night, I just said you had me cornered.
Yeah,
Can't move.
right.
But that's it. Yeah.
And he likes. And
we
he
enjoy
likes the
sleeping with
spoon.
each other though.
He likes. We call it spoonation.
I love the spoon.
I love that.
Yeah.
Spoonation. Well,
Yeah. And she says she can't fall asleep without me. What, rubbing your butt,
Rubbing my.
scratching.
So wherever we're laying down, if he just does this, I fall. asleep. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the difficult part about me being in Miami. Sometimes is when I don't have anybody to scratch me.
yeah.
So,
Well, after everything you guys have built, survived, and learned together, what does winning mean to you now?
wow, winning means to me to be able to spend time with our family and our grandchildren. I mean, when we take the best cruise that I had was the one we stopped in Montego Bay and spent the day with our son and his wife and our grandson. So it's now give back time and also spending time with our children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
For me, that's winning.
Yeah, and something that I talk about in my book is that the 3 phases that we go through in life is you're learning all you can, getting all intellectual capital, but then you're earning all you can, which is getting financial capital that you can so you can live really well. Then the 3rd phase is where you return all you can. You're going to return your wisdom, your knowledge, your money. You invest with helping other people so that they can learn and so they can earn. So to me, winning is now at the return stage of my life. But Max and I want to continue to live well and do well, right? So we want to travel. We want to go on vacation. Winning is is doing things when we want to do it at our on our own terms. But the second half of winning is when we do good. And doing good for the community, doing good for our church, doing good for the women. I was just talking to a young lady she just had a baby and she's a little overweight. She wants to know, well, Daphne, can you help me figure out what clothes I should start buying and so I can look better for church? And so just doing those kinds of things is not just about Max and I, because we're not here by ourselves and we're not here only for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're here to help do good so that other people can also win.
But coming from a family where the church and ministry was put before the family,
Mm-hmm.
and coming from a first marriage where I put the church and my spiritual ambition before the family and lost and got divorced, I've made up in my mind that family is first,
Yeah.
and that charity and love begins at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to make that same mistake again. I'm going to make sure that things at home are tight and that our private life is successful, that we spend quality time with our grandchildren and feed into them. What we're balancing now is this is what we're balancing. Well, how much do we invest or how much do we share and bail our children out financially? And if we do, what kind of input do we have in the decision making? Want to balance that because when you look at our grandsons, they're wonderful, they're bright, and so on. But our children have a philosophy of raising children
that might be different than ours.
That's different. Now, it's different. And
It
so we have to learn how to balance that. But family is first for Daphne and me.
And sometimes they don't want to, do vaccinations. I'm like, oh my God, really? You don't want to vaccinate your child? Or they
and for me, they don't want to get a whooping. Some boys need to get
mental parenting.
Time out. What is time out?
And
so there's different. So if we help them, that's the point is, well then, but we need to have some input. We just got an email today with they are looking at, there's a $400,000 home. They're like, should I invest in this or should I not? Well, of course they're asking for some help on that. But yeah, so we focus on the family for sure.
I love that. Well, your kids have great examples. You guys, I mean, I know you, as a couple, and Daphne individually, and I think that you guys are really great examples for couples that are figuring it out. They're going through it or coming out of it, or so your kids are really blessed to have y'all easily accessible. So yes, that's a blessing. But so this has been such a good conversation. I hope y'all felt it. It's felt very organic and fun. And I think maybe we probably need to make this a series. Maybe we should ask, because we didn't even get into everything. We didn't get into the traveling and all of the things. So but thank you for giving us a glimpse into your life, your marriage, and just got kind of how you guys have built this and are kind of continue to grow. So we certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, you.
I'm going to turn it over to you, Daphne. I know, we have some announcements to make about these guests that are coming up.
Yeah, so Dr. Karika Weldon is going to be our next guest. I'll be hosting her this time. April 15th. She's the founder and CEO of Carry Genetics. She's revolutionizing healthcare in the Caribbean community. If you want to know your possible lifespan, how long are you going to live? Is your biological age the same or less or greater than your sequential age? When you look at the DNA that is in the people of the Caribbean versus the people of North America or Europe, they're very different. And she is helping companies like Regeneron, AstraZeneca, Roche. There's at least 7 companies that have signed on to help her and for her to help with drug discovery based on genetics and the DNA that we all have. So she's coming and we ask you to support that. Rashawn, why don't you talk about Executive Office Hours, which is coming up in just 10 days or so from now?
Yes. So Executive Office Hours is not a webinar. It is really a work session focused specifically on the strategic needs behind visibility. Daphne, that's one of the things you talk about is getting visible. It's not just about you can have all of the talent, but if nobody sees you, then what is it, right? So you are graciously giving me to everyone who joins access to where I'm going to really dive into how to make your LinkedIn profile something that people want to see. And kind of giving you those points. So looking forward to having people join on April 10th at 3 p.m.
And we will be advertising that as well. But, you know, part of my vision is to know yourself, grow yourself, and show yourself. And if you don't ever show yourself, nobody will ever know who you are. So she is an expert. I've got 10,000 LinkedIn followers now. And I think I got half of them since Rashawn has been my person at least half. So
yes. And so also the first 10 people that register, I'm going to do a free 30-minute one-on-one with you to go specifically into what your LinkedIn profile should look like. I'm going to talk to you specific, going to give you a new banner, a new bio, because that is a part of Daphne's return all you can. So she has earned all she can, learned all she can, and now she's returning it. So April 10th, the link is going to be in her bio on her LinkedIn page, and it's also on her in the caption of this video. So,
Rashawn, you've been amazing.
This is so much fun. I love being in this seat.
For sure.
And thanks all for your questions and your comments. Claudia, I see you. Thank you.
Hope we were a blessing.
Hope you were a blessing. Melissa,
Hope we
God
were.
bless you.
Yeah.
Yes. Until next time.
Next time.
Now it's time to say goodbye.